Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Bill. Bill is from Michigan in the USA. So let's see what Bill has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Bill. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
So, tell me, how is your day going so far?
Uh, so far, so good. It's a get chores done type of day. So
Tell me,
nothing exciting today. Until this. Now this is what I've been looking forward to all day is getting the chance to
oh,
talk to you.
oh, that's sweet. That's nice. And tell me, where are you from, Bill?
Right now, I live in Michigan in the United States, but I'm originally from a state called Wisconsin. Yeah, I don't know how much you know about the states, but it's agriculture. I grew up in farm country.
And why the change from Wisconsin to Michigan?
That's a long, convoluted story. I moved to Chicago after I had taken a sabbatical from college. Went to Chicago looking for work and ended up just staying there for most of my adult life. And then uh, I met someone, and that's how I ended up in Michigan.
Amazing. And tell me, what do you do for work, for living, Bill?
that
What do you do for work, for living?
I'm retired.
Mhm.
I worked for the Chicago Tribune newspaper in
Wow.
Chicago. I was it's sort of like a librarian. It was the editorial department research center. We looked stuff up. Is is basically what that was. So I worked there for 28 years, and I'm retired. But now I'm an actor full time. So
Wow. Okay,
which is
so
something I've always done. Part
uh-huh.
time at least. But now that I'm retired, I can just do it whenever.
Oh, wow. So tell me how your career as an actor started, as you've been doing for a while now. So tell me, when was the moment that you realized, okay, I was born to be an actor as well?
Oh, well, that's it. Yeah. When I was a kid, I had issues with self esteem and self confidence, and I sort of developed a sense of humor as a self defense mechanism, as many people do. So I always sort of had that bit of a performer, mentality to me, but I never thought it was something I could pursue as a career.
Right.
Um, I had gone to a very conservative Bible college out of high school. After 3 years, decided that what they believed and what I believed weren't the same thing. So we parted ways, and like I said, I went to Chicago, and I started taking filmmaking classes at Columbia College in Chicago. And I had a coworker who was said you should study at Second City Theater, the Second City Improv stuff. And right around that time, this was the early '80s. That's when um, people from Second City, John Belushi, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, those guys started, making all these movies that were, I thought, great movies. And I thought, oh, the common thread between these people seems to be Second City or that improv community. So I thought it would be a good filmmaking network
Uh-huh.
to take classes and get involved with that. And I wasn't intending to pursue the actor, at least
Right.
not at that time.
Amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career and also about
Sure,
your life so far, okay?
sure.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Uh, I was trained and certified to be a hypnotherapist.
Oh, Wow.
And for a while, while I was still working full time, I worked part time for a hypnosis center. We specialized in helping people quit smoking and losing weight.
Oh, wow. Amazing. And nowadays, you don't practice this anymore?
I don't. To do it as something that you're going to make money off of, it's difficult.
I see.
It's nice if you have it as something that's complementary to something else you're already doing, like for a massage therapist, let's say.
Mhm.
But if that's it's rare that someone can. You almost have to like. I don't want to say start a cult, but develop a following.
Right.
What they told us in hypnosis school, one of the things they suggested, they said write a book, even if you self-publish it, because that gives you credibility. So,
Okay.
um,
Bill, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
sure.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
Thank
So,
you.
I have here my best friend. Of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Oh. Okay.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
First question for you is, what does money mean to you?
Money is what is necessary to survive. I do not now, nor have I ever had a lot of money. My folks didn't have much, so nothing was passed on, and after being married and having a couple of kids and gone through a divorce, money I made at the Tribune is sort of in other people's hands. So for me, it's simply it's it's what you need to get by. I would like to have more, just to do things that, basic things. I don't have any desire or aspirations to be wealthy. That's not important to me.
Do you believe that that money can bring happiness?
Not the money itself. I mean, if you're in a position where your quality of life is being impacted by your finances, money theoretically could bring happiness if money came into your life and you could meet those needs. But it's not the money itself. Again, it's what that money can do for you. And once a person has so much, there's some people, it's like it becomes, I think, a game. Money is like accumulating points. Whoever has the most points gets to win. So I don't understand that myself, but money itself, no, does not bring happiness.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Next. Oh, I can see you like dancing. Good.
I'm dancing with you.
Amazing.
Because I don't hear anything.
Next question is, what makes you very sentimental?
Boy, music oftentimes will trigger, especially, different songs have, were popular at different moments in your life as something momentous was going on, that, like the songs that were popular in high school, obviously. But also songs that were popular when I was going through a very difficult time. Those songs make me feel sad, even if they're not sad songs, because they take me back to that place. I've never been real sentimental over like my childhood. People, I miss people. I'm separated by distance and by time from, people I was close to.
Wow.
At one point. So
And nowadays, which person you feel more connected with, more, in touch with right now in your life?
That would be my partner, Lori.
Okay, so let's see that's your partner.
Who's the reason I moved to Michigan?
There we go. There's a reason behind.
There, now you know.
Okay, so let's see that your partner is watching this interview right now and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say?
That I really appreciate your putting up with me.
Beautiful.
You're an amazing person and I love you.
Beautiful. Next question, Bill, let's do it. Before the next question, tell me what's the best joy of acting? What do you like the most about it? And the flip side, what do you find most challenging about the career?
What I like most, I grew up loving movies. Like I said, I grew up in a rural area, and we had moved into a small town where everybody knows everybody. So if you're from outside, you're excluded from everything. Plus, there wasn't even anybody that lived close to where I was. And I didn't have siblings until I was 10 years old. So I pretty much existed in this vacuum where I lost myself in movies on TV.
Wow.
And that's why I just wanted to be part of that process. That's why I started studying filmmaking at Columbia College. I was taking screenwriting and directing classes before I started taking the improv classes. So now, just to be the part of it, like here's a movie I'm enjoying watching, and oh, look, I'm in it. To me, that's just an amazing feeling, because I never in a million years as a kid would have thought that was a possibility for me.
Wow.
It was like Hollywood, as it were, might as well have been on another planet. My mother ran a beauty shop, so she got a lot of the celebrity magazines at the time. So I saw the glamorous world of movie stars, and it's like, when you're a misfit little kid in Wisconsin, that's not something you ever assume.
Wow.
You're going to be any part of it. So to be part of it now is a real rush. It's not steady. That would be one of the things that's challenging about it. Like, I have several projects waiting to come out and several more that we're going to be filming in the next year. But for the last several months, it's just been nothing is happening. And it's really difficult to not feel anxious.
I see. And you're talking about
At least for me, it's difficult to not feel anxious.
I see. And you're talking about movie. Which movie had a big influence in you in your career?
You mean that I watched as a kid? Are you
asking?
Yeah. Wow, I'm trying to. If I don't know if there was any one specific movie, but I really enjoyed monster movies. So I saw, monster movies and comedies like the Marx Brothers or Abbott and Costello. Again, fed that sort of comedic side of me. In fact, I always assumed if I pursued any kind of career at all in entertainment, it would be in comedy. I just sort of ended up in the horror genre in the last few years. Now that I'm older, I guess I look more evil. Or creepy, one of the two, or maybe both. Creepy, evil.
Funny. Next question is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
I'd like to be remembered better than I should be. I'm one of those people, I'd love to have my life to live over again. I really would. But I don't. So how do I want to be remembered? As someone who was a good friend.
And what's the meaning of life for you?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
The meaning of life.
Meaning of life. Is that what
Yeah.
you're asking? Wow. Okay. Uh, I'm really not sure. I'm a bit of a nihilist. I'm like, we're born, we get old, and we die. Why? I'm probably giving away the fact that I don't have traditional religious beliefs.
Right.
So it's, and do your best while you can while you're here. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing as long as they're not hurting anybody else. Let everybody live their own life. I'm very much an individualist. This idea that we're going to control what other people do based on your beliefs, that doesn't fly.
I agree with you. Good. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Bill from Michigan in the USA. Next
Sure.
question is, what's the meaning of success for you?
To be able to have the things that make you happy in life. Again, I don't measure it by like how much money would you have or what possessions do I have. Just to be able to live day to day and not worry about how I'm going to pay for next month's bills would be wonderful. I would consider that being successful. But you know, to have a few nice things. But like I said, I'm not that. I material stuff just doesn't mean that much to me.
And when
I'd get a hot car though. I'd have a hot car.
Yeah.
Probably several of them. That would be that. Then I'd feel successful.
And when
I'm kidding.
When you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Bill? What do you like the most about being you?
Oh my God. Connecting with other people.
Great.
Feeling like I make a good impression on them.
Wow. Great. Next question, ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next one. Hey, Bill, next question for you is, usually, which is the first thing that you think about when you wake up?
That I better check my email to see if anything important has come in overnight. And that's sad that I have to say that's the first thing I think that it usually is. Other than that, I wake up contemplating my mortality.
Wow. Do you have like a morning routine that you do every single day or not?
Nothing too involved, you know, get up, get dressed. I try I'm not a big morning person, so I don't have a great morning routine because it takes me a while to kind of get up to speed. But then I have things I do as an actor. I have, you know, certain physical exercises and vocal exercises that if you do them regularly, then they work for you. So, you know, people say, well, what do you do all day? And I try to explain it and it's hard. Well, it's concentration exercises, it's relaxation, it's stretching, it's all this stuff.
I see.
So that when somebody says, hey, Bill, can you come and be in this? You're ready.
Absolutely. I agree. Next question. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Before the next question, when you think about Wisconsin, the state, what's the best memory that comes to your mind? And also, when you think about Chicago, what's the best memory that comes to your mind as well?
For Wisconsin, probably just being a sports fan. When I was real young, I don't know how familiar you are with American football, but the Green Bay Packers was a team that was like my team. And when I was very, very young, they were very successful.
Right.
So I've always been partial to the sports teams, and I'm sorry to say that that's my best memory of Wisconsin, but it is. was being in a state where we had a great football team. For Chicago, I think when I started working with Improv Olympics in the mid 80s, which is now IO Theater in Chicago, I worked with a fellow by the name of Del Close, who was the director of Second City when the cast was John Belushi and Harold Ramis and Bill Murray and those people. Yeah, so he was considered legendary in the improv community, and he also he was a movie actor. He was in the remake of The Blob, if you've ever seen that, with Kevin Bacon. He played a priest in that. So, but that was just an exciting time because it was the beginning of that theater that is still running in Chicago. But it was very different then because Del was kind of a wild man, and the workshops, they weren't really classes. They're, now if you go to IO Theater, you go through a level of structured classes. With Del, it wasn't that way. We just all met together in one big group, and Del would say some crazy thing he thought up the week before and say, let's see if we can do that on stage. So it was experimental, and it was fun. But I was also working full time at the Tribune, so I was burning the candle at both ends for a few years.
So you spent most of your life you spent more in Chicago.
Yeah, I moved to Chicago in 79 and I left in 93.
See. All right. Okay. Next question is, who in your family you trade place with for a day if you could, and why? For any reason.
Who in my family would I trade a day with? It has to be a living person, right?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, well, that still doesn't. I guess my honest answer is nobody.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just going to go with that. I don't think I'd rather trade with anybody.
And growing up, which person in your family you're more connected with, more close to growing up?
My mother. Definitely my mother, yeah.
What was the biggest difference between you and your mother, and the biggest similarity?
A lot of similarities. I know, like how I saw myself, my own self-esteem came very much from my mother. As I grew up, I would start recognizing things in my own behavior and say, oh, mom does that. That's where I'm getting that from. So the way most different, I'd say, was she was just a very low-key conservative person, and I was again, the little kid with no stimulation actually present. I latched onto everything pop culture, So I was reading Famous Monsters magazine and Mad magazine and all these subversive influences. I ate that stuff up, and and my mother hated it.
Interesting. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, Bill, next question for you is, what do you like the most about yourself?
That I have the ability to make other people happy.
And you always been this way?
Through my humor. Yeah, I think so. When I got in, like I said, through most of my school years, I was kind of an outcast. I never really got along with the other kids or interacted with them that much. In high school, that began to change. But I know I was a person that people would come to and say, you just seem like someone that I can talk to. Could we talk? I had that happen several times when I was in high school. So I don't know what that is.
Wow, interesting. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Bill, before the next question,
Yes.
tell me 3 names that any artist or director or actors that for you always being a big inspiration, that for you always look it up to? 3 people.
Denzel Washington,
Okay.
Michael Caine, definitely.
Okay.
And having a hard time thinking of just one. I'm just going to go. The only name that's stuck in my head right now is George Clooney.
Okay.
Because I know he has been an influence on me in certain ways, sort of like I've tried to model myself after him.
I see.
I guess
Okay.
I guess he deserves to be up there.
Okay, so let's see. One day you wake up one day, there is 3 missed calls. One from George Clooney, one from Michael Caine, and one from Denzel Washington, yeah? Which one you call back straight away? Which one you're gonna send a message saying, I'll call you back later? And the third one, you're not gonna call, you're not gonna send a message, but you're gonna go like, okay, he can wait. I can call him another time. Tell me.
Wow, okay. Denzel, I would respond right away.
Yeah.
Michael Caine, I'd text and say, I'll call you later. And the first one was can wait.
Oh my God, what a difficult task, yeah? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I'd rather not call any of them, to be honest, but.
Great answer.
I hate talking on the phone. I'm just being honest. I don't like it.
Clever. You're very clever. Next question is, what's the happiest day in your life so far, and why you consider that?
Happiest day?
In your life so far, and why you consider that?
Well, I have 2 kids. I'd have to say, the days they were born, if I had to pick one, it would be the first one, because it was the first one. But I mean, they're equally special to me.
Oh.
But nothing tops that.
Wow. And they live as well in Michigan?
My daughter lives in the suburbs of Chicago. She's married. Her husband is a policeman in the suburbs of Chicago. And my son and his girlfriend live in Wisconsin, actually.
Oh, wow.
Their mother is also from Wisconsin. So that's how he ended up in Wisconsin. Because she had moved back there after we divorced.
I see. And since you left Wisconsin, did you come back sometimes or never anymore?
I used to. Then when, once both my folks were passed away, there really wasn't a lot to pull me back. And 2 or 3 years ago, we sold our family home that had been my parents since I was in high school. So that was kind of the last connection that there was. It's my brother and myself. That's our family now, the 2 of us. So there's, I'd probably go back for a class reunion, but otherwise there's nothing really pulling me back there.
In your opinion, what's the biggest, difference between Michigan State and Wisconsin State? There is a lot of differences or not?
They're actually very similar. They're both agricultural. They both have, scenic forests and woods, and the upper parts of the state are incredibly beautiful. They both have a lot of hunting, fishing. I'd say the biggest difference is, especially because of Detroit, Michigan is much more of a manufacturing state.
I see. Okay.
So, yeah.
Last question, ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Last one. But before the last question, tell me a moment in your career as an actor that you're never going to forget. For some reason, you're always going to have a special place in your heart.
It's not anything that happened during the filming per se. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely, of course.
But it's actor related. I had gotten cast in a movie called Unseen, and one of the other actors in this movie was Felissa Rose. who's best known for her role in Summer Camp, and she was appearing at a convention in Indianapolis. So I thought, well, I would like to go and just introduce myself and meet her, which I did. But what I wasn't expecting was she treated me like a colleague.
Wow.
Even though she'd never met me before and I don't have a lot of credits to my name, she interacted with me as if we were equals, and it was a very uplifting experience. Like, oh, I guess I do belong.
Wow. What a moment.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thanks,
Let's
Felissa.
She's watching.
I'm sure she's watching. Oh, yeah.
Last question is, what's your idea of a perfect friendship?
Where you always know you've got each other's backs.
Tell me a friend that's through your life that you're never gonna forget. A good friend that for you, for any reason, like, even though you don't have much maybe in contact with, but always being in your mind.
A fella by the name of Warren Prindle, who I met when I first moved to Chicago, and he and I became partners in crime early on. And yeah, we were two pranksters. Children trapped in a young man's body. We were old enough to know better. Not that we did like criminal things, but just stupid things. Like, my friend was an artist. He's a painter, and he taught an art class.
Right.
They would bring deceased animals in to learn muscle structure, and they would paint the musculature of the dead animals. One day he was meeting me at the Chicago Tribune after work. I see him coming up the sidewalk, and he's pushing a baby carriage and tapping the sidewalk with a white cane, and he's got sunglasses on. And in the carriage is a dead cat.
Oh my God.
And he thought this would be a real funny prank to like, he was going to walk up to me and start yelling, "What about our baby?"
Oh my God.
He's just stupid stuff like that that we would do.
Oh my God. Memories made, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with family.
Parents.
Money.
Comfort.
Fear.
Safety.
Life.
Death.
Love.
Love.
Love, yes.
Everybody.
Religion.
Pass.
Okay.
None.
Word.
How about none? That's the word.
Okay. Sex.
Fun.
Politics.
Liberal.
Friendship.
Valuable.
Desire.
Wow. Motivation.
Regrets.
My life.
Success.
What I strive to achieve.
Wish.
That's not one word, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hope.
Happiness.
Contentment.
One word for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Dairy.
One word for Chicago.
Comedy.
Michigan, one word.
Um, beautiful, beautiful.
One word for USA.
Sad.
And the last one now, one word for acting.
Fulfilling.
Beautiful. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your kids for a coffee, and I'm going to ask both of them. Define Bill in one positive word and one negative word only. What do you would say?
Wow. Nurturing for the good one, and absent.
Okay.
Even when I was working full time, I almost always had a supplemental part-time job as well. And for a couple of years, I worked 7 days a week. So I wasn't in their lives as much as I wish I had been.
And if I would ask the same question to your lovely partner, what would be her answer?
A good thing, supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Bad thing is I'm a dumbass.
Let's play now.
I'm an absent-minded dumbass, and she puts up with it. So,
all right.
But I know she wishes I wasn't.
Let's play now Bill and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Bill.
William, what would you say is your proudest achievement or accomplishment when you were a youngster?
Oh, wow. What a beautiful question. Bill, when I was 19 years old, I had the opportunity. I'm from Brazil, originally from Brazil. When I had the opportunity to move my life, to change my life, and to move to Portugal, before moving to England. And at the time, my parents, they couldn't afford my plane ticket. They couldn't afford my rent because I need to pay 1 month in advance to move to Portugal. And I had 3 months to get everything ready. I was 19 years old and I didn't know where to start. So I literally, I believed that I could do it. Yeah. I had 3 jobs at the same time, but I said, okay, you know what? I need to make it. It's a life opportunity that I cannot miss it. And I made it happen. I would like to write a book one day about that situation.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. I like that. I love that.
I was 19 years old, and I remember, fun enough, when I had the opportunity, the first person I came to talk about it was my mom. And she said something that at the time I didn't understand, but looking back, I understood because she never had opportunities in her life. When I came up to her, she said, "My son, I always admire your, strive to become a better person, to go after your dreams. But you need to understand that a few things in life are impossible to happen." When I heard that, I started crying. I didn't want to hear that because she was the first person that I was looking for some, help. But I understand her. She just didn't believe it. That her reality was totally different reality. That And I told her, "My God, if other people can do it, why I cannot do it?" And she said, "I'm so sorry," and she started crying as well. Guess what? 2 weeks and a half after, I came back home and I said, "Mom, I got the ticket and I got the money." She couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe that I made it happen, and I was 19 years old. So back to your question, I think that's one of the biggest achievements in my life. That when I look back, I was like, "My God, how it's possible?"
Oh, that's monumental. I could never have done that when I was 19.
And I did it, and I'm so grateful for, I'm cut a lot because if I would tell you the whole story, it's an amazing story, but it will take a lot of time. But it was something that I'm very proud of. These 19 years old.
Well, you should be, yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that I believed at the time and I made it happen. It wasn't easy, but I made it. And it was something that I'll never forget, something that it's when I think about it, sometimes makes me cry. That's why I don't talk much because I can get emotional about it. But it's something that I'm very
Man,
proud
I
of.
would
This
too.
19 years old, youngster, as I said, this youngster, 19 years old, that just had a dream in his hands. He just needed to make it happen, and I did it. So yes, that was the biggest achievement in my life for sure, as 19 years old.
I love that story.
Amazing. Did you enjoy the interview, Bill?
Yes, definitely.
Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so kind and accepting my invitation.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Before we go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Be kind.
Mhm. More than
That's
ever.
basically it.
More
Yeah.
than ever. The world you live right now, for sure. Amazing. Bill, thanks so much. Regards to your family and your friends, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank
Okay?
you. Thank you
Thanks
so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.